and over again, but it does tend to be with those smaller teams. Second stint here for Toprak Razgatlioglu. 2 fast laps immediately at the start of that second stint, and both of them fastest laps of this session. He's got his fastest time now down to a 1 minute 36.389. So Toprak certainly showing the way. Jonathan Ray's the best part of a second behind him at the moment. He hasn't gone out, of course, yet for his second stint. But little doubt about it, this is going to be a fascinating season finale. Everyone weighing in with their thoughts ahead of this final round.
Yeah, even former world champion Troy Bayliss giving his thoughts on it. And he's dead right when he says it's not over till it's over. And you're going to expect to see everything that Jonathan Ray has thrown at Toprak over the course of this weekend. I was speaking to Johnny on the flight over, and he said that this is a very strange situation for him to come into the championship decider without any expectation. He obviously wants to be able to get everything he can from this weekend, but he hasn't given thought to really what it could mean to win the championship. He's just focusing on getting as many points as possible. He hasn't thought about celebrations. He hasn't thought about anything else. He's really just trying to put some pressure on Toprak, get some good results and see what happens. But certainly we do know Toprak's in the driving seat, but you don't want Jonathan Ray to be the man that's chasing you down.
No, but it is an unusual situation for Ray. 6 world championships, and he's been the leader coming into the final round in all of those 6 seasons.
Yeah, he's gone into that last round really with the championship not in doubt. And for Ray, this is a different situation. He also knows what it's like for Toprak, though. This is Toprak's first time in a world championship decider, and how's he going to react through it? On the basis of what we've seen in free practice 1 so far, Toprak's looking pretty at ease. Another fastest lap from him there. He's chipped away a couple of tenths of a second on the last couple of laps. So for Toprak, he's looking pretty comfortable right now.
Yeah, saw him in the airport on the way through the international journey that we've all taken to make our way here to Indonesia. And Toprak looked as relaxed and as happy as he always does. And Razgatlioglu, well, he hasn't shown any signs of cracking under pressure at any stage this season. We've said previously the only retirements have been mechanicals or misfortune, and I don't suspect that he's going to be an easy nut to crack for Jonathan Ray this weekend either.
No, I think it's going to be really difficult, and Ray is going to have to rely on a bit of misfortune for Toprak, because over the course of this season we haven't seen anything from Toprak that would make you think that he would crack under pressure. And even if you think back to the last few years for him, from whenever he started really becoming a front-running rider in 2019, from I think it was Misano was that first time he had a real battle with Jonathan Ray. He doesn't put his foot wrong too often, Toprak. We don't see too many crashes from him. He doesn't panic whenever he's in a battle with anyone. And from that sort of point onwards, he's been a real frontline, top-tier rider. And Yamaha are going to feel pretty comfortable that he's the rider that they have in their corner.
Make no mistake, Jonathan Ray is going to give it everything this weekend to try and maintain that title. You don't become a 6 times world champion without having that little bit extra when push comes to shove. That said, interesting comments in advance of this weekend where Jonathan Ray talks about not feeling the pressure to too great an extent, and Perariba saying much the same, that they don't feel the pressures on them, and that's because, frankly, it looks at the moment as though the championship is out of their hands. It's not mathematically in their hands. 3 wins for Jonathan Ray, and he'd still be relying on results to go his way from Toprak. So they don't feel that pressure to too great an extent, or at least that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, and the more you say it, the more you believe it. But I think for Jonathan, for Perariba, for that Team 65 on that side of the Kawasaki pit box, they're definitely going to feel that they want to just make sure that they tick all their boxes this weekend. And that's where the experience that they have of working together for so long, because that whole team has been together for 7 years, it does make it where it really is a case of it breeds that confidence that you're going to be able to maintain that form.
Toprak Razgatlioglu has maintained his form throughout this 2021 campaign, and although it took him until the 3rd race of the weekend at the 3rd round of this 2021 season to take his first victory, he's had a fair number since then, and to be perfectly honest, the momentum has been with him. There's no argument against that. When Jonathan Ray has made back points on each occasion, Toprak has been able to respond, and the winningest rider, to coin the American phrase, of 2021 has been Razgatlioglu, the championship leader. Yeah,
Toprak's been the top rider all the way through this season. He's been the rider to beat, and certainly he's had his bad luck, and that's what's kept the championship a little bit closer than it's been.
So, as we head into the final minutes now, final quarter of an hour in free practice one, it's Toprak Razgatlioglu who leads the way, 9/10 of a second ahead of this man, Michael Ruben Rinaldi, who's just made his way back into the pits. We've got Jonathan Ray and Alex Lowe still in their pit boxes. Garrett Gerloff, likewise, the majority of the top 10, in fact, with Haslam Sykes and Locatelli all in their pit boxes as well. As far as the leaders are concerned, the only two out on the circuit at the moment, number 45, Scott Redding, currently sits in 7th position, and this man, Axel Bassani, who's top independent in free practice one, top independent yet again, Bassani, 137.696, and the top independent ranking as far as riders are concerned is one of the things of interest over the course of this final round, because you've got Garrett Gerloff on 213 points, Axel Bassani on 199, and the momentum, frankly, has been with Bassani as he crosses the line to go third fastest in this session, the 137.186.
Yeah, what's interesting again, though, is he loses 4/10 of a second to Toprak in that final sector, and in that final sector, no one's gotten closer than 4/10 to Toprak, so that is where the Yamaha's working really well at this stage. Obviously, you expect to see that change as the weekend progresses, but it is no surprise that in a section of the track where you really need to brake on the angle, that the Yamaha's just got that bit of extra performance in some of the other bikes out there. So that is where the Yamaha's really strong. We've seen it so far around this track that in the middle sectors it has been a case of the Kawasaki's and the Ducatis having a little bit of an advantage, but that can all change now in the final 10 minutes of this session.
Yeah, so it's not sort of a Ducati problem in that last sector. It's more about Toprak and the way he works with his Yamaha.
Yeah, everyone's going to have a bit of a Toprak problem in that final sector, and you can see Lowe's making his way out of the pits. He's already put 11 laps under his belt, and that's good to see as well, considering the injuries that he's had over the course of the last few rounds. And hopefully for him, it is a case of being back on form and back to closer to full fitness and being able to ride a little bit more uninhibited than he had been in recent rounds.
Several riders, though, waiting a fair while before coming out onto track for their second stint. Jonathan Ray among them. You'd suggest that riders might perhaps have been expected to really put in as many laps as possible as far as track familiarisation was concerned.
Well, I think that's why we saw some longer stints at the start of the session, riders going out doing 8 or 9 laps and then coming into the pits and making some changes to the bikes and then going out for these final 12 minutes. And you'd expect to see everyone stay out all the way through until the end of this session now.
Yes, KRT leaving it late to return to the circuit, as we've been saying, but a couple of other riders also out onto track, Andrea Locatelli and Tati Mercado just completing their installation laps. Not quite sure what Michael van der Mark was waving his hand about there. We might be about to see it.
Big moment there as he back shifts down in towards those ever-tightening right-handers at the end of the lap, and for Van der Mark, he's able to at least live to fight another day, and he's going to rejoin the track and still be able to set some times. The sim just coming through turn 1 down in towards 2 and 3. This is one of the tighter sections of the track, but it opens up from 3 onwards through turn 4, 5, 6. It really is opening up all the way through until we get to turn 10 at the end of the back straight.
The Scott Redding's just gone across the line for a new personal best, 1 minute 37.504 for Redding. So the standings now with just over 10 minutes remaining. Razgatlioglu 9/10 clear, Rinaldi second fastest, Bassani third fastest, Jonathan Ray fourth, and Scott Redding fifth. A fair number of Ducatis up towards the front of the field. Yeah,
and certainly that's what Scott Redding's going to expect to see through the course this weekend, is that Ducati have the performance to be able to get to the front. He wants to be a spoiler. As it is right now, he's 5th fastest, but you'd expect to see him find some performance as we move through the sessions today. But Ducati, they can be that spoiler if the bike works and it's in that right operating window. We've seen them so strong all the way through this season. This could be one of those tracks that really does suit it, and the reason for that is we're going to have really high track temperatures. We're at 63 degrees track temperature at this point, and it's only going to get hotter through the rest of the day. If you think back to the likes of Misano, when we had high track temperatures earlier in the season, that's when we saw the best from Michael Ruben Rinaldi. If you think back to when we saw some great performance from Bassani as well, that was with the high track temperatures.
Yes, at what track temperature does the track temperature indicator start to break? Because if it's going to happen, it's going to be this weekend, isn't it? Scorching. It's uncomfortable. Right from the moment you wake up, it's already the temperature right up there.
Well, I think the humidity meter is definitely broken, because it's only saying 58, and it certainly feels a lot more than that, than 58%. But it is hot and sticky and difficult conditions.